UK. This is the right space to explore real-life issues affecting real people. We provide professional counseling to individuals, couples, organizations, schools, church, and others. Follow, share, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Let's Chit Chat UK.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you find yourself. This is Let's Chit Chat, and I'm Pastor Cecile. And I have two great hosts in place, in order, in check. And they like to introduce themselves. Richard, you like to introduce yourself?
One more time, President, to correct. Let's Chit Chat. We have a very interesting subject this evening, or this morning, as you said, wherever you are. I look forward to engaging in plenty of chitting and chatting. Brother Richard, live and direct.
Brilliant. Pastor Enoch?
Pastor Enoch, and I'm representing live. Today is an interesting subject that we are going to talk about, and I know that it will be interesting to you also. Let's chat.
Let's Chit Chat. Please share, follow, and subscribe. Please share the topic, share, like us, follow us, and subscribe. This is a platform where we discuss real issue for real people. So any issue that we bring on the platform is an issue that someone just like you has recommended us to discuss it and see people's view and opinion. And you never know, if you have any topic, just drop it down, text it to us, share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube. We are here at your service. So this is Let's Chit Chat. So today's topic is really interesting because it's something that one way or the other we all have fallen victim of. Either we have fallen victim of or we have victimized somebody, but whichever the case, we all have done this one way or the other. So the topic today is, if the truth hurts, why tell it? If the truth hurts, if you definitely know that what you're going to say or tell somebody or what's going to come out of your mouth will definitely hurt one way or the other. So why do you have to tell it? Often enough, we all say that it's good to tell the truth. It's good to speak the truth. It's good to let people know what you think, what you know. But if that is going to be at the cost of somebody's pain, somebody's hurt, so why tell it? Richard, why do we have to tell the truth? Do you think it's good to tell the truth? Richard?
Most of the time it's good to tell the truth. Most of the time it's good to tell the truth. Why not? I think as the evening progresses, as the session progresses, we may find out that it may depend on who we're speaking with. But for the most part, I think the truth is a good thing. Today I was talking to one of my friends, for example, and she'd been involved in a budding relationship, and I said to her, you know, was this fellow really a soulmate? Was he really for you, or was it a case of last chance saloon? She said, "Oh, Richard, you're not hanging around. You're not beating about the bush. You're telling it to me straight up, aren't you?" I said, "Well, I'm telling you the truth, and I think you can handle it." And she was right. And that's the nature of our relationship. For other people, you've got to use a lot of diplomacy. Is diplomacy telling the truth? We'll soon find out. Brother Enoch, I'm going to get back to you, Sister Cecile. I want to hear your take on this. What say you, sir?
Thank you, sir. Wow. You started with a question about what you just said. You know, you said in some ways we should tell the truth, and it depends on the person like you are speaking to. Why should you like consider people that you should tell the truth to and others that you shouldn't? The fact is, the truth is the truth. So my belief about this topic is that always is good for you to tell the truth, no matter what the cost, because it's better for you to be right than later on be sorry for yourself. So why don't you tell the truth to the person now than to hold on, because the longer that you hold on, the more that the problem becomes bigger, and when it comes up like this, it will be difficult for you to solve that problem. So I believe that always you must tell the truth.
Okay, you both have said in one way or the other that it is good to tell the truth and you should tell the truth. But we have cases, we have some cases where somebody is dead, somebody did something and they are gone. Should you tell the truth, or you have a case where maybe somebody was violent, was rapist, was used to steal when they were younger, and they at this stage of their life they're in a relationship, perhaps they don't want to tell their children, perhaps they don't want to tell their wife. Should you be the one breaking that news to them, because you have said that it's good to tell the truth? So let's take those cases for instance before we progress in other areas.
And before you speak up with your particular point of view, Sister Cecilia, is that what you're saying? Tell the truth now. Are you ducking? Are you diving?
I'm asking a question.
Have you given your opinion on is it good to tell the truth?
I will definitely. I'm still checking on what you have said so that I don't leave that when outside the window. You said, you both of you have said it's good to tell the truth. So if you're going to tell the truth, somebody's dead.
I heard this. I heard the scenario. I heard the scenario. You're giving us a chance to get off the fence while you sit and watch us on the fence. But you're gonna get your chance to shine. Don't worry. Now, with regards to this particular situation you've just raised, very good point. I think diplomacy can be the order of the day. If you've got a family member or a friend, a close friend, or someone acquaintance-wise who has passed away and they had a very dodgy, dark type history, it depends on the context and your relationship to the person who is alive as to whether you're going to share what they actually did as a matter of fact, as opposed to using diplomacy or leaving it to someone else at an appropriate time to divulge what this person did or did not do. You'd have to ask yourself, is it worth telling someone? Is it worth sharing this information? Of what value would it be? Sometimes the truth can really hurt, and it takes a lot of healing. So I think diplomacy can come into the equation there. Interestingly enough, it crossed my mind also when we're talking about telling the truth. And Brother Enoch, I'd like to take you up on this point, see what you make of it. Telling the truth and having an opinion or opinions on situations or on an individual or circumstances may be two different things. The example that Sister Cecile raised, if somebody, as a matter of fact, did kill somebody or murder someone, or was an abuser in an abusive relationship, physically, emotionally, verbally, and otherwise, well, that could be a matter of fact. But then it comes into maybe context. What drove this person to do what they did? How often did they do it? Did they seek treatment? When did this happen? What was the repercussion? What was the context of the situation? So opinion and truth is my point. Opinion and truth can sometimes be a little muggy and murky. So who's to say who's telling the truth? What say you?
Pastor Enoch?
Wow. As you said, thank you, Sir Richard. Always having an opinion about something doesn't necessarily mean like you telling the truth. Your opinion about certain situation or circumstances might even be wrong. It's like you sharing your ideas about certain incident that had happened, and some people, they can even bring their own let's say their own part of the story. If, like, for instance, somebody even doesn't like you and you go to ask his opinion or her opinion about a certain circumstance or situation that had already happened, maybe because of the relationship between the person might not actually tell you the truth, but rather share his opinion, or even to the extent that the person would like to influence the matter. So I would say that sharing your opinion and telling the truth is different ball game altogether. And per
Uh,
what, yeah, per what you were saying, like if somebody has done something, and maybe let's say you are a family member, and the thing, you know the thing, but it's up to the people to let you tell whomever that they want you to tell. It's not up to you to just be nosy about somebody's happiness. If the person has
Absolutely.
not, yeah, if the person has not given you the opportunity or open up to you, sometimes the person just wants to snitch the person. So by just being nosy about the situation, might even destroy the relationships in the family.
Very wise. I can see why you are a young pastor, sir. Not even young, just you are a pastor. Yeah, oh yes, sir. I can see the wisdom, sir, shining. And talking of shining, who is that radiant sister?
I'm
Oh,
learning.
okay, brilliant, wonderful. We are talking about pastoral and the word of God. The word of God says in the book of John 8:12-32 that the truth you know will set you free. So the truth you know definitely will set you free. Now we are talking about telling the truth. Is there any case where the truth has actually set people free in that context that we are, or context that we are talking about? Because the word of God says you must tell the truth. But now we are looking at, let's see, for instance, I'm just going to ask you a question. We are looking at a man or woman who's been not fidel or loyal, or infidelity has kicked in the relationship. You know about it. Would you go and be the one telling, because the word says the truth you know shall set you free, and you
That,
should be telling the truth? Let's say the other partner has confronted you about, maybe their partner is having outside relationship. One comes to you and say, well, I definitely know, and I know you know, and I'm coming to ask you. So would it be in your place to tell?
not
Should you
necessary.
lie, or would you tell the truth? Because we are talking about, if somebody tells the truth, we know that the truth hurts. Well, why will we tell? So we have to touch every angle of that topic without
Absolutely.
leaving anything
Absolutely.
uncovered. So,
He or she would have already
or
divulged
let's
their
assume
hand.
let's assume she doesn't even know.
Well,
But
let's not keep ducking and diving here. The hand was dealt there, and in that first scenario, let's deal with that first scenario. This person knows, is highly convinced and aware that something is going on. Well, it's not necessarily my place. If she knows that it's as good as a slam dunk, then I'm not necessarily going to be opening my mouth to add fuel to the fire. I mean, maybe there's something I don't know that they know a little bit more about, so I'd leave it to them. Diplomacy sometimes, and wisdom in all you're getting. Get understanding and knowledge. It really plays a big part. And I tell you something, there's also a saying, if the truth, quote unquote, were known about all things, there'd be no peace. There'd be no peace if the truth about certain things were to come out, whether in one-to-one relationships, country to country, continent to continent. There are deep truths, incidents, facts, not fiction, not opinions, but fact. If they were to come out, my goodness me, there could be hell to pay. Who killed JFK? Who killed JFK? If the truth were to be known. So I say diplomacy. Brother Enoch, what say you? Then we're going to get to the second part you raised, Sister Cecile.
yeah.
Looking so radiant, and I'm not lying. Go ahead, Brother Enoch.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Yes, sir.
As you were saying, there are so many secrets that if maybe it is revealed today, the world will be on fire.
Oh,
I tell you, was it yesterday? I was talking to one young lady, and after our discussions, I asked her, is it good for the husband to be aware of what we are saying and this kind of stuff?" And she was like, "No, no, don't tell him, right?
don't.
It means like she knows the husband and how the person might take what maybe if it is revealed, how the person is going to take it. So I think sometimes we keep or we hide the truth to save people. So we ought to be wise on what to say. They like the other time we were saying like the timing of your saying is matter. When are you saying the thing? Where are you standing that you are saying the thing? So not necessarily mean that everything you just have to let things come out. You need to be wise on what you are telling some people, because the truth that you said you are going to say might kill somebody, and the lie that you are going to even share might save somebody. So you have to weigh in between what are the weights that each statement that you are going to say carry.
Very wise, very wise. Sister Cecile, I know you're itching. You've got a bag full of questions today. Proceed with pace and power, please.
Well, we need to know about this because often enough people will tell you things and they said, "Oh, I just want you to know the truth. I just want to tell you the truth." The cases where I've seen, perhaps once in real life, but often enough in movies, where that I'm looking at what is the real motive to that, where a wife or husband may have committed adultery or whatever they have done, then they then go and tell their partner and they say, "I'm telling you this because I don't want our relationship to be ruined in the future. I don't want to keep it in. I just want our communication to be clear. I just want to be open." Then you can see the other part is torture. The other person then is hurt. You see the anger, you see the low self-esteem, you see all sorts of issues. So what is that? I would like to know, what do you think about that? Telling someone the truth, and you know that after you telling the person the truth, they probably will never be the same again. Probably
Well,
they will be too hurt. Probably
look,
they will be
people are
insecure.
people are stronger than we give credit for sometimes. Again, context is all important. So you're referring to various situations on TV, and you've had a situation in real life. It would be lovely to hear about the situation in real life shortly from you, Sister Cecile. That would be lovely. But what I would say is, and I'd be in agreement with Brother Enoch, it's about context, who the person is, what the information is. There's various things that he was using his hands that need to be balanced and weighed up in discussing and sharing the truth, in telling the truth. Now, I think one of the strongest factors in telling someone the truth is the spirit it is done in. Is it in a spirit of love, cooperation, understanding, caring, compassion? If that's the case, if you have compassion for yourself, if you have compassion for others, namely in this case, your significant other, your partner, then telling the truth, as much as it may hurt the individual, may, if you want to patch things up, if you want to make certain things right, telling the truth calmly at the right and appropriate time as you see fit and in balance with how the person is, where they are mentally and physically, then we can start looking to tell the truth. And then, having told the truth and it has stung, hurt, cut to the core, cut to the bone. Thereafter, with compassion, we can begin to heal the wounds, dress and address, put some of the old-fashioned TCP, not too much Dettol, you got to mix that with water, but you need to take your time in terms of healing what's been told. If you don't tell the truth and you hold it back and you let the wound fester and you let sleeping dogs continue to lie, there's going to be a lot of dogs barking out there come after time. So I say tell the truth, but there's a time and a place, and when you do it, it's in a spirit of love, compassion, and understanding and respect for yourself and for the other person. If that's not the case, or it needs a bit of time, then take your time. I say, take your time. Brother Enoch, am I right?
I'm going to put this question to Pastor Enoch. Now, the instance where people will like to know the truth, they will love to know the truth. As a matter of fact, if you don't tell them something, it becomes a big problem. Why didn't you tell me the truth? Only if I have known. You need to tell me. It doesn't matter whatever happened after. I need to know. I have the right to know, and they will persist in knowing the truth. But the minute you tell them the truth, then they cannot handle that truth. So what do you do about that? There are many people who want to know the
Sister
truth.
Cecile, you've said the question. Wait a minute. We are chit-chatting. Sister Cecile, Brother Enoch needs to answer the question. I'm telling you the truth in the spirit of love. You can continue to go on and on and on and labor a point. Let the brother speak. Please, we're chit-chatting. Time is of the essence. Brother Enoch, but there's a point and a question that he can answer. He can answer that. We can only take so much.
Have you lied somewhere? Why are you being so defensive?
I'm not defensive. I'm telling you the truth in the spirit of love. Let me ask, Brother Enoch, if someone told you the truth and said, I want to know the truth, and you should tell me the truth straight up, what would you do, Brother Enoch?
Richard has
Brother Enoch
problem. I have just discovered. Let's carry on.
Brother Enoch, answer the question, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Wow. It's very,
underlying problem issue.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting because I always say that people that are always anxious to know the truth, you have to be careful of them. Anybody that is always anxious to know the truth, they end up not being able to carry the truth or to handle what you're going to say. Because since they are anxious, it's their heart that wants to know. Their itchy ears wants to know, but they have not even wait on like if this person is supposed to tell me this situation. How am I going to handle such issue? So I always say people that are always anxious to find the truth, they are not reliable to handle certain situation or certain issues.
Yeah.
Like what I said earlier on about the person that doesn't want, maybe the person has come to you and tell you about some problem that maybe he or she is going through, and you could see that maybe emotionally this person is hurting. As Mr. Richard, you were saying that maybe you have to tell the person in comfort way, lovely way, and after that you try to heal the person. Though the healing process might be long though, but I think you need to be careful about what you are going to say. There are people they are hiding so many secrets, and it's rather hurting them. So instead of the people to just come out with the truth to set themselves free, only if you are free, then that you can set somebody free. If you yourself are not free emotionally, if you yourself like you are hurting inside, whatever that will come out of you might not be a love or lovely way. So the best thing before maybe you confront that your fiancé, your husband, the person you date, dating or in friendship, the best way is for you to analyze yourself first and know that, oh, I'm even free myself, that when the person is even angry, I'll be able to handle how the person will react. You need to put all these kind of things into consideration whenever you want to tell the truth. Thank you.
Wonderful counsel, sir. Sister, wonderful counsel, I say.
Excellent. Brilliant. Richard, what do you think about that? That was a question from me to you too.
I can only concur with what Brother Enoch said. I think it's a beautiful case. Your question was so long, it almost took me. I almost forgot what the question was. I was just listening to what Brother Enoch said, and it's about just taking your time. Yes, if somebody is insistent on knowing, tell me. If you know something, tell me. Don't keep it back from me. Tell me. Well, on their head be it. And with wisdom and experience, it seems to be the case that some people cannot necessarily handle it, and they will fly off on a handle. They will not know how to deal with the information, process it, and how to react. Again, it goes back to that spirit of compassion and knowing one's self. I think if you know yourself and are willing to learn about yourself, and that sometimes that includes accepting that we're not perfect. We have flaws, we have strengths, and we have weaknesses, as do other people, including spouses, friends, family, relatives, work colleagues. It's endless. So I think a spirit of compassion for oneself and others goes an awful long way, and having that spirit of love. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth, but in a spirit of love. Or I'm not going to tell you now because it's coming from a spirit of love. So that's my, even talking to your good self, my sister. It is from a spirit of love.
Let's hope so.
Do you doubt it? Do you doubt it? Do you doubt it? If
no
you doubt it, no comment.
I take the Fifth Amendment.
There are things going on. My goodness me. Yes.
All right.
Yes,
let's
America.
The topic is, if the truth hurts, why tell it? Okay, let's take it in the case of relationship. Often enough, women or even perhaps men will go to their partner and say, oh, why are you with me? Why did you marry me? Why do you love me? And sometimes the other partner is scared to tell the truth, and they will say something else, because knowing that if they actually tell the truth might not be welcome, or might not be digested, or might not be accepted. So do you think often enough that people are allowed to tell the truth even in relationship to such question that why are you together?
Why did you marry me? What was it? I think that's a very interesting one. And from the get-go, Brother Enoch and yourself has struck on this point and covered this point. Can you handle the truth? Because if you ask that question, and you may just find, knock, that door just might be opened. So if you're asking your partner, why did you marry me? Now, that person may have doubts. Maybe they want reassurance. It could be a doubt, and that doubt may be angling towards an argument or a tiff. If they want a compliment, knowing that the question has been asked, why? Knowing that the answer is likely, 99% likely to be returned with a, because of your personality, because of your characteristics, because of your determination, because you're so romantic. I can hear some clicking. I'm telling you the truth. Can you hear some clicking?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I need to.
Check it out. It's a case of what you want to hear and what you may hear. So if I ask my partner, what did you like about me? Why, in terms of why did you marry me? Well, I'd be asking that, hoping to hear something that may be complimentary. As part of the package, I would also have to be prepared, potentially, for certain things that she may have wanted by way of a improvement on my part, because, as I said, no one's perfect. So it's a real tricky one. But the key factor is it in a spirit of love and compassion? And why are you asking that question? Because if you're asking that question, it's kind of loaded. The question is it a loaded gun, or is it loaded with lots of goodies? You've got to be careful why you ask a question, and not to expect a lie. I mean, that may actually hurt even more. I mean, it's a real odd one. So I think really having a philosophy in the spirit of truth and love and compassion and understanding in a relationship is ever so important, because then you can ask questions and it's give and take. Because, yeah, what can I say? Yeah. What say you, Brother Enoch?
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Richard. Well, what we were discussing was if the person keep on asking, like, why do you maybe marry me? Why do you want me as your friend? I remember one person asked me, like, why do I want to be her friend? And immediately the person said that to me. I said, oh, friendship is not by force, so why should I beg for friendship? Right? It's like the person really, as you were saying, that the person really wants reassurance. Maybe there is some kind of changes in you. Maybe there is kind of things that maybe you are doing for her, or things that maybe you are subtracting from her. So it depends on what is happening at that moment of time. Because nobody will just stand up and just ask you that, oh, why do you marry me? Maybe you have married for maybe 5 years, or maybe 3 years, and all of a sudden this person, maybe you have dating for 2 years, 1 year, and all of a sudden the person has never asked this question before, and all of a sudden the person come up with, oh, why are you with me? Why are we dating? What have you seen about me that it's kind of, I'll call it in some part insecurity. For somebody to ask you such questions, maybe they are not even sure how the relationship is going to end. But some way also it hurts, because the person wants to know, like, sometimes your plans, the reason why you came to the person's life. So I would say 90% for us to add something to it when this type of question come to us is for sure. Because even when you tell me, like, oh, why do I love you? I'll be creative. Everybody wants to pamper you. You like to pamper the person. You want to assure the person. So you might not even tell the actual truth. You might not even tell the actual truth. Yeah, it's true. When certain things just somebody just asks a question like that, you might be thinking, oh, why? What is the person thinking? So you might not tell the person the actual truth. That it's not all that necessary always to be asking for assurances from people. Somebody can be asking for more than 10 times. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? It's kind of sometimes not good when it comes to relationships.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have a little caveat there, Brother Enoch, on what you said, though. You say sometimes. Did you say? Let me just check. Did you say sometimes somebody may want to, or someone may be prepared to tell a lie in terms of compliments, just to reassure someone? Oh, you're gorgeous. And of course the classic one. Oh, your hair looks beautiful, or that dress looks fantastic. You look phenomenal. You're looking so. Telling a lie just to make sure they're happy. Were you suggesting that is the way to go? Your hair looks beautiful. That dress is gorgeous. That color suits you so well. if you don't think so, might be a matter of opinion. Do you think that's okay to say sometimes? Was that what you were saying, sir?
Yeah, for sure. You see, sometimes people like look at their insufficiencies, right? And they want to sometimes build their spirit. You know, I was talking to somebody that, as my mom was saying, the person have they kind of low self-esteem. So even the person is trying to know if indeed maybe God even loves her or loves him. Right. So when it comes to certain things like that, maybe the person is hurting inside. Oh, like you look at my hair. Do you think people will appreciate me? You might know that the hair is not nice, and you don't have any good suggestion. Like you are not good in hairstyling and this kind of stuff. Are you going to tell the person that, oh, this your hair is I'm even ashamed of of your hair? You are going to kill the person's spirit. So the best way that, in my own opinion, is that if you don't have any good thing or better thing to say about somebody, there's no need for you to talk about it.
Don't say anything at all.
Sure.
Wow.
Okay. I have another question for both of you. Let's take in a workplace position. We are talking about if the truth hurts, why tell it? If it hurts, why tell it to the person? Let's take it in workplace where you definitely know that the person is not doing the work the way it's supposed to be done and how it's supposed to be done. Maybe you have tried to tell them in many ways and they're not taking it or they're not accepting it. What would you do? Would you not tell them the truth? Would you let them carry on with the way they are? It might even be someone who is behaving not good, or might be someone who has a bad character. Let's put it that way. No one really is bad, but some character are really not good. So if someone has such a character, will you be able to tell them the truth, although it's going to hurt them? Would
Yes.
you, knowing that the truth sometimes or
Hurts.
often not hurts, and then you also know that if you want this person to change, it's only the truth that will make them change.
In those two situations, you've delightfully, with clarity, explained those two. The first one is around paperwork. I remember I used to work in a project management setting, and there could be a situation, it could arise, where someone's approach or paperwork method of doing something may not be as thorough as it could or should be. So if there is a definite level that one needs to attain, I think taking the person aside, I think telling the person about the good points and the strengths that they have and what they bring to the party is great. It's called a constructive sandwich. You can tell someone something good they do, something that could, with support, and something that is attainable that they can achieve. They can help and reach that level and then improve themselves. And then you can give them another compliment, a constructive sandwiched criticism. That's what that is. Positive, quote unquote negative, and another positive. That's regarding paperwork. So yes, I think and again, it's in a spirit of cooperation. It's going to benefit them. It's going to benefit the organization. It's going to benefit the organizations that they are helping to build, and everyone comes out a winner, including themselves. And if you can show that they can achieve that, they'll respect you for it. And doing it in a loving, diplomatic, and empathetic way always often will get the job done. When it comes to someone's personality, well, maybe a slightly dodgier ground. Some people can rub some people up the wrong way. Some people are aggressive, some people are passive, some people are quiet, some people are loud, some people are forthright in their opinions, some people are rather more demure. So if someone is rubbing someone up the wrong way, And it may, because of not only what they're saying, but how they're saying it. If that may result in conflicts in a workplace with management, with fellow colleagues, may even ultimately involve, problems with yourself. What would you do? It's about empathy. It's about finding that time and place, recognizing the person's strengths and where they're coming from, maybe finding out where they're coming from, as to why they behave in a certain manner. Are there certain, is there a certain history behind how they behave? And maybe they need to see the positives in terms of if they adjust their behavior and mannerisms in a certain way, they don't lose credibility, and they can see why it would benefit the team as a whole. So I think it's always, or most time, 9 times out of 10, it's about approach, why you're doing it, and showing the person the benefit of the potential change in any given situation. But personalities can be a tricky one because everyone's different. We are not robots. We've all got our personalities and our idiosyncrasies. But I think finding a way to connect with a person and helping them to connect better with others is always a great way forward. And hopefully that's appreciated. But Enoch, man of peace. Sister Cecile, also Sister of Peace.
Richard, yes, you have finished your bit. I will ask a quick question to you. In the case of where you have spoken about workplace for the same question, and I will ask the same question to Pastor Enoch about church situation. You spoken about circular, how you will go about it, which is exactly what is happening in workplaces. But the same situation in church, rather workplace, because workplace, it tends to be a lot more straightforward. You will sit the person down, you will explain, you will give positive, negative, then positive, and conclude. But when it comes to work arena, often enough, we don't want to hear the truth, although it's the house of the truth. But it's very reluctant for people to want to accept the truth on their character. The same people that go to church, they will take the same truth in a church place and accept it and correct themselves very fast enough. But in a church situation, the same truth will be fought, will be argued, it will be debated, it will be rejected, it will even be hated. Pastor Enoch, why do you think that is different? If telling the truth will hurt, in workplace we still manage to tell it and it still works, why haven't we been able to do the same thing in a church situation? Pastor Enoch.
Thank you, Mommy. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Richard, for the opinion that you shared. Concerning such situation, it's always good for me to approach a situation as it is. I quite remember before I come to the church sector, I quite remember I was working and they brought a certain guy for me to train. And I trained this guy. This guy now began to do the work well. But we see that when he knew after teaching him, he wanted to be the boss. Do this, trying to command me around. So one time, and I realized that it's kind of annoying. It's a behavior that annoys most. Certain things that he can do for himself, he just wants to let you do some of the work. So it was just irritating. So one time, he wanted to instruct me to do something. I said, Master, this kind of your behavior, you need to put a stop to it. Other than that, I'm not working with you anymore. And don't ask me anything concerning the right thing. See, anytime you tell somebody a certain kind of truth, the person might react maybe angrily at the first place. But if the person is really wise enough, words always speak after somebody has told us something. people go home, they ponder on what they have heard. Maybe immediately they will react maybe roughly to you. But when they go and they realize that what you are saying is the truth, they might change. So why don't you confront the person and let the person know, oh, this what you're doing maybe it's not good, or this what you're doing. If you can pamper somebody and the person, it will boost the person morale. Why can't you correct somebody and let the person be the best that he or she could be? And when it comes to the church sector, as I was saying, it depends on how you approach certain things. There are people that are in quotes immature, that maybe they just came to the fold and they want a kind of love. One man of God was sharing this story with me about what was going on in his church, him and his dad, and it was like, oh, somebody came, a new person came to the church and had a problem with old person. So instead of the pastor or the man of God, sit down with the old person and talk to the old person, let's just pamper this new person. I think when she grows up, she might know the truth and certain things she will not do. But this pastor didn't do it like that. She went straight and pampered the newcomer. So the old person found out that me, I've been paying my tithe now. I've been helping the church. Anything I contribute much in the church. And when this kind of thing has happened, it's because you have seen a new person. You just want to support the new person. And the old person stopped the church.
Oh.
Because the person stopped the church because she thought maybe the pastor was not on her side. Why should the pastor choose the new person than the old person? Set little things. So I think the best way is that you first find the person that you know that if you speak to, the person is a little bit mature in the things of God. And as time goes on, you begin to correct the newcomer. So I will always say that it depends on how you approach the person in the church. There are some men of God, they would like to, approach somebody in a public way. And the person might not like it like that. If you have a problem maybe concerning, I've done something that you think is not good, and maybe you just don't confront me, you didn't call me to tell me, and you stand on the pulpit and you begin to, pour my matter all around, it might be disgraceful. At the end of the day, you have destroyed my spirit. I might not even have love coming to church again. So I think the best way when it happens in the church is just first of all talk to the person. You give the person opportunities, and if the person just exhausts these kind of opportunities, then you know that this guy or this lady is a black sheep, and the black sheep must be booted out. So I think the best is just confront the person first and know how to deal with that situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very great contribution from both sides and both parts of the society. Excellent, excellent word. Word of wisdom. Any other comment that you both like to add on the topic before we round it to a close? Any area that you like to bring in? I don't know.
One my friend was.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Richard. Go ahead, please.
No, go ahead, sir. My question will be to Sister Cecile and the ladies out there. Is it good to tell the truth as we see it? Is it okay to give our opinion on how you are looking today, what you prefer them to be wearing, or is it a case of keeping quiet? What's the lady's perspective? What's your question, sir?
Mr. Rita, your statement is leading to sexual harassment.
Richard, should I answer that question?
The ball, my sister, is very much in your court if you choose to send it back over to me, right in my face. If you want to send it to the parts where I may, I'm prepared, sister. I apologize. It was a question asked in a spirit of love, peace, empathy, and a respect, with a little dose of diplomacy.
I will answer that as we trying to round up at the moment. I will answer that. In terms of telling the truth, I will say I used to be someone who will just tell the truth. Not tell the truth in a way that I know someone's secrets, I will bring it out, not that kind of truth. But I used to be someone who, if I see you're doing something wrong, I will just come to you and I will just tell you straight on, this is wrong, this is not how it's supposed to be done, because I honestly and genuinely was brought up in an environment where when something is not right, it's not right. When something is right, it's right. There's no two ways about it. Either is right or is wrong. That's how I was brought up, to know the difference between good and bad. So I will always not confront like fist, but I will always go and say, okay, this is not right. I don't think this is right. I don't think, which at the end of it, I think a lot more before I do that. I look at both angles and I reason with myself and I reason with the situation and I come to the conclusion, this is not right. And all ethic I will look is not right. So I will come and boldly say it without any fear, without any limitation. But it was always badly perceived, where someone will think, oh, you're personally attacking them, or you're personally putting them down, or whatever. So therefore, I learned to step back and not really to want to say anything that much when I'm seeing something wrong, just because you don't want someone getting the wrong out of the stick, whatever you're trying to tell them. So I learned to go the other way around. If I can personally go to the person and they will not see it as an attack, they will not see it as a hatred thing, then I will go to them. But if I know that this person, my communication with the person is not that bonded, it's like I cannot easily tell them something, I will look for routes where somebody else can go and tell them, instead of me telling them. I look for where I feel they're more friendly with somebody else, or more easygoing with somebody else, that can easily talk to them without taking it as an offense or making a big deal out of it. So sometimes, coming back to the question, sometimes it's not good to tell the truth, because some people might not be able to handle it. Some people might not be able to take it, but always you have to look for, if you cannot tell it to that person and they don't handle it, who else can talk to the person and they can handle it or take it from that person? Depends. Richard, your question was about, as women, if we like to be told that we are looking good or our hair is good and whatever. It really depends. Some people, they can misunderstand or misconstrue or misjudge what you're telling them. I remember one topic we discussed some time back, and you said about your colleague, that you used to tell your colleague about how they're looking good, and someone took it as it was some woman who might not handle the truth. If you tell them that they look good, they might think that you're coming on them. If you consistently telling them that, oh, you look good, they might think that you have a personal interest in them. So you just have to think, look at people, study them, know what they can handle and what they cannot handle. Are they the type of person that if you give them compliment, they will take it as compliment? Or are they the type of person that you give them compliment, they will take it as something else? So we are all different. Women are all different. But in case of your wife, you know your wife better. You know what she can take as compliment. you know what she can take as no compliment. But in terms of another woman out there, because you probably don't know her that well, then you just need to learn to know her before you pay a compliment. And again, even if you don't know her that well and you want to give her a compliment that she's looking good, it will depend on how you say it also. If you said we've had too much attachment, oh my sister, you're looking good today. Oh, well done. I love your outfit. And you say like that and you passed on and go. It will not be taken as an attachment, because people have many issues with attachment. So very good compliment consistently, they can attach to you in a very bad way or in a very good way. So really, I don't know if that answers your question.
To a fair degree, that may be a topic. I can see there's a topic in there somewhere, all on its own. But no, thank you for that considered response. Are we coming to winding up time
We are coming
summations?
to one. Yeah, yes, please. So if you like to give us your final word, thank you.
Okay.
There was a great example that was just coming to my mind as a result of this conversation. I love sports, and I used to, maybe to a extent I still do, but I've changed. I used to watch events during the Olympics, for example, and watch British athletes time after time qualify as fastest losers. 4 available fastest loser positions. Top 3 automatically qualify from each heat. And I used to go off on one and I'd say, why on earth are people bigging up these achievements? Or I say achievements, why are they bigging this up when you can see that people, from the Jamaican team are qualifying, and the United States are qualifying nicely, and top 3 and not hangers on the last to qualify. And a friend took me aside and said, Richard, why do you see things from this particular perspective? Why not accept that some are better than others? Some achievements are contextual. Some people have sponsorship issues looming, and they know better than anyone else how good or indifferent their performance has been. And I had to take stock. They were talking to me with a spirit of love and understanding and compassion. And that's my final word on this matter. Being compassionate about yourself and others can really help when it comes to telling people the truth. And I think it's a great thing to tell people the truth at the right time, said in the right way, if necessary. And if done so, it's a spirit of truth, and one where we are prepared to be there if wounds need to be healed, slowly but surely. Are you going to be there? Will you be that one to help them recover if they need it? Will you help bolster them up? If so, speak your truth. But remember, one man's truth, one woman's truth, is another person's lie, is another person's indifference. Truth and opinions, sometimes the line can be murky and be blurred. So let's be compassionate out there when we're telling our truths. Bless.
Thank you, Richard. Pastor Enoch?
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Richard, once again. Before I conclude, I would like to ask this sharp question, and I'll just conclude on my part about the compliment issue. If I'm a young guy, and let's say I'm not married, and you've seen this beautiful lady, very nice outfit, looking great, and you want to approach, it's not the best way, like as Mr. Richard was saying, first compliment the person. You said you should just compliment and go, but this kind of compliment, that you're interested in the person. So you might go extra mile by complimenting the person more. Maybe you try a lot and you are in it. So that's my question, because you are young, you are not married, and maybe you are a such person. I think it's not bad by complimenting the person and talking to the person.
That your question is regarding if you have personal interest on the person, which Richard one was quite general. If you have a personal interest on that specific person that you pay compliment to, then of course go ahead and pay compliment and stick around and talk a bit more. But if you don't have a personal interest, it's just a compliment that their hair is looking good, their outfit is looking good, a sister is smiling, a sister is joyful, or brother is looking good today, and you have no personal agenda behind the compliment, then that's fine. You can pay compliment and say a bit more and carry on a bit more. But if it's just limited to a compliment, then you have to find another way that will not bring any attachment between you and that person. I hope that answers my question, your question.
Sure. Thank you so much. And one of my friend wrote something that he said when some of these truths we are talking about, if we hurt them, meaning it's hurting us the most. Meaning like if some of the things that we feel like it will hurt them, it might be which we are suffering, as I was also saying earlier on. So based on this, to conclude my point, I would say that it's always to come out and tell the truth, but you have to assess when you are saying it and how you are going to approach the situation. As Mr. Richard said, through love, through compassion, I think you can be able to heal the person, even if the matter is hard for the person to swallow. So it's always good to tell the truth, but you have to reason through it before it come out from your mouth.
Oh, brilliant. We have, just before we go, I'm going to read some of the comments. Sorry, I was not able to read the comment as I was so engaged with what you were saying. We have received some of the comments. One says, a brother Ajiapong Ata says, true hurts, but lie hurts the more. I think telling the truth yourself is better than they finding out. You telling the truth yourself is better than the other person finding out, because the truth hurts and the lie even hurt more. He went on to also say that when someone of these two, someone is telling these two are talking about, if you hurt them, if will hurt them, meaning it's hurting us the most, because mistakes, wherever mentioned or not, is not good. So it's good to tell the truth. We have Elizabeth on program today. She's listening to her. She says, good evening. She's saying good evening to all of you. Good evening to Mr. Richard. Good evening to Pastor Enoch. She's saying good evening, that she's listening to us. And again, Brother Ajiapong Atta also says that it's all about how you tell the truth. He agreed with Pastor Enoch, but it's all about how you tell the truth. And then Elizabeth says, please, one by one, so that Richard can understand. Oh, Richard can understand one by one. Richard, it looks like you were fighting too much, huh? Brother Atta went on to say, people are really emotional attached when it comes to the religion. When it comes to religion, people are emotionally attached. Therefore, people really they're not ready to accept the truth, when especially on moral ground. So Brother Atta said that when it comes to religion, people are really attached to their religion. They really attached, so they emotionally attached. So when it comes to that moral ground, they are not ready to accept the truth, which I will completely agree with Brother Atta. I agree with you there. Karen says, I'm not having anyone telling me the truth. I can't stand the fairness. She cannot stand the fairness. She's not having anyone telling the truth. So she cannot stand the fairness. So everyone has to tell the truth, and she cannot stand it. So it looks like we did not actually tell our truth. That's what she said. We did not tell our own truth. I think I think if I understand very well what Sister Karen is saying,
that's very interesting. Looks like I got myself in trouble for speaking my truth. my goodness me. I 110% concur and encourage one at a time. I make no apologies about it, but I think it's let's chit chat for a reason. We're gonna chat, and we know as intelligent, mature people what our point is. We make it succinctly, and we move on, and we take it from there. We are not having monologues. That was my truth in love.
So tonight's topic has been about why tell the truth if you know that it's going to hurt. I will conclude. My co-hosts have concluded, so I will conclude that it is good to tell the truth. Although it hurts, some people need to hear the truth in order for them to change. If you see me being dirty all the time and my hair is all over the place, instead of letting me carry on embarrassing myself with my hair all over the place, why wouldn't you come to me with love, as Pastor Enoch said, as Brother Richard said, come to me with love and say to me, Pastor Cecile, I think your hair is all over the place, or your hair maybe hasn't been washed for a long time. If you can do something about it, that truth that you're telling me will save me in the long run, in 6 months' time.
Oh, you have so much hair. You have so much lovely hair. The constructive criticism. Lovely dark jet hair. And it could even look even more. Yes.
Exactly. Although you're telling me something that I don't necessarily want to hear now, like Pastor Enoch said, you might be telling me something that I don't want to hear now, but it might save me tomorrow, because I might go to a different arena tomorrow and trying to repeat the same thing, and it's not going to be welcome. Where one is welcome with their bad behavior in this arena, you might not be welcome with your bad behavior in another arena. So why wouldn't a sister or a brother come to you and tell you the truth? In work setting, we tell the truth often enough and all the time. In work setting, we eat our truth often enough and all the time, because we are worried about being told that we are not friendly, we are not nice, we are not abiding by the word of God, we are not to judge. But if we are truly one another keeper, one another helper, and one another supporter, why would we just support people financially, physically? Why wouldn't we support them in telling them the truth? So tonight, I'm so glad that this topic has been well thought, well contributed by Richard, well contributed by Pastor Enoch, and I'm so grateful to have both of you on board, because without that challenge, we will not be able to teach chat exactly the way we should teach chat. And remember, this platform is for real issue, for real people. So we are trying to be as real as we can, as real as possible, where we know that you will tell the truth and it will damage somebody's marriage. Refrain from doing that, because sometimes it's not even in our place to go and tell that kind of truth. It's up to the two people to tell themselves that kind of truth. But when you know that the character also of somebody might cause them harm, instead of you telling unrelated person, go and text to the person themselves, tell them what they need to change. So until then, thank you so much. If you like our topic tonight, please share, subscribe, and follow us. Why tell the truth if it hurts? If it does hurt, why tell the truth? Simply because the word of God says we have to be honest, we have to be true to ourselves, and we have to be true to each other. But telling the truth that will kill somebody, you are not permitted to do that. And telling the truth without love, you're also not permitted to do that. So if you're going to embark out there and say you're telling the truth, say it with love. Richard, final word, then we close. Richard?
Brother Enoch, I am sure you would join with me in saying how pleasurable it is to wine and dine and spend an evening with Sister Cecile. Radiant, a sense of humor, determined, attractive, blessed, wise. That's truth. The old troublemaker says so.
And I
Wonderful.
think that's the truth. Thank you. Please share, follow, and subscribe. This is where we end. Thank you so much for being with us, being patient, and listening to us. Until next week, Saturday, same place, same time. If you have any topic, please drop it on. We will pick it and we will discuss it. Thank you. Stay tuned and stay blessed.
Let's Chit Chat UK live stream. Hey, I'm Pastor Cecile Abba, a counselor by profession from Let's Chit Chat UK. This is the right space to explore real life issues affecting real people.